Next up, our next featured talk, Meteor for Mobile. Slava Kim and Matt Arbsfeld both grew up competing internationally in engineering Olympiads. As many of you know, Slava coached the Kazakhstan national team and later at Collections authored the native Windows 8 client while also contributing to the Cocoa client and backend infrastructure. Matt Arbsfeld is an undergrad at MIT who spends his time researching computer vision and creating mobile apps. During his Google internship, Matt optimized Chrome rendering performance and improved memory-locked page rendering by a factor of 8 when he identified a fault in the caching system. Tonight, they will be showing you Meteor for Mobile. Let's hear for Slava and Matt.
Thanks, everyone. So I'm Matt, this is Slava, and Sashka will join us shortly. And we've been working over the past month or so really hard to bring mobile support to Meteor. So currently, if you want to make a native app, there are a lot of steps to the process. And I might have to know a lot of different technologies, Objective-C, Java. Some people are even learning this thing called Swift. So not only do I need to know all these technologies, but I might have to build my app on all these different platforms. So if I want an iOS app, I'll have to build an Objective-C version. If I want an Android app, I'll also have to build a Java version. I'll have to maintain these separately. So ideally, we use JavaScript everywhere. And what does that give us? That gives us one language that we can have on all platforms. We can share code, share functionality between different devices. We have one set of APIs to interface with native functionality and HTML5. And finally, it gives us hot code push. So just as if you go to a website, you get the most up-to-date version of the website, ideally, you'd have an app that when you open the app, you get the most up-to-date version of the app. Through the current App Store process, you might have to manually download that app, and that kit has a lot of complex things to go with that. But people expect really good performance from their native apps, and they don't expect kind of the same connectivity needs of a web app. So how do we reconcile these two things? And the answer is Cordova. And what Cordova lets you run HTML, JavaScript, and CSS on the phone without using a browser. And not only that, you can write isomorphic JavaScript to access native functionality on all devices, Android, iOS, and web. So for example, I could write navigator.camera.getPicture, and I'll have my iOS camera, I'll have my Android camera, and I'll also have a web camera. So what does Meteor bring to the picture? So Meteor takes Cordova and simplifies it and gives you all the functionality at a much easier, at an easier interface. So we have build tool support. So you have Java, you have your simulator all built into Meteor. You also have Cordova plugins in your Meteor packages. So you can build packages that have Cordova dependencies, and when you add the packages, you now have the Cordova functionality. Finally, you also have hot code push. So when you make an update to your Meteor app, your apps are also updated. And Slava is going to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so hot code push, that's a big feature of Meteor that you might be familiar with. In shortly, when you open your web app and you push a new version, all your clients can refresh the page automatically without them doing anything, and they all get the latest version. Apparently, it's not that easy to do in mobile devices because you need to install your app on your phone, and then if users don't update it through the App Store or Play Store, there's no way to get a new version, and they might just get stuck there. So a really good thing about mobile apps, every time you open it, you get a new page, but there's a cost. You spend more time downloading your content. And as you know, on mobile networks, the connection might be flaky. So the solution that we propose, we bundle all your code, all your HTML, JS, JavaScript, and CSS with your application code. So it's always hosted on the device. So it's really fast to open it. But how do we update it? So we built the mobile version of hot code push. Essentially what happens, you can see on this diagram, we have a phone, it has some empty local storage, it has the app bundle, and on the right side you have browser. And this is server version 1. And after that, you update your version, you update your server, and it has version 2. What happens in the browser notices it and reloads. On the mobile device, what happens? It downloads the new code to the local storage and also reloads itself. So it will open all the new code immediately, and you don't even need to care about pushing updates to App Store. So that's hot code push for mobile devices. And Sashko is going to show you a quick demo of the mobile app he's built.
All right. Yeah, so after I saw this cool stuff, I wanted to build a demo app. And I think the coolest thing is that you can use Meteor packages that include Cordova plugins to have a package with the same interface on Android, iOS, and web. So one package in particular that we've built is called the photo package. And so on iOS, you can see what it does is you click the button and you take a photo. So here, let me take a photo of Matt. Great. And then I just click Use Photo, and I've posted a photo to my Meteor app. And then additionally, we've built some extra JavaScript code so that on desktop, the same exact thing happens. You get a pop-up, you use your camera to take a picture, and you put it back in. And from the app's point of view, all it is calling just one function that does the same thing on all of the platforms. So on this app in particular, you can take photos. It uses the native geolocation API to place the photos on a particular location on the map. And you can click around and see what photos people near you have posted. And you can use this map obviously from mobile and from desktop, and it's super easy. Now they're going to give you a slightly simpler demo of how to build an app with Cordova.
All right. So using Meteor for mobile is really easy. Actually, it is as easy as using Meteor for your web apps, and we're going to show that. So here, Matt is going to increase the font of the terminal. And he will show you how easy it is. OK. So
that's the hard part, is the terminal.
Yeah, terminal. I mean, I'm blind myself, so I don't see. So you can see that this is Meteor version Cordova-Preview 3. This is the first public release that we're putting out today that contains Cordova support. And it also uses the newest packaging system. So now you can see that it is the simplest Meteor app that you get when you just create a new project, if you're less. It says one JavaScript, one CSS, one HTML. And we have one additional package that we built called Camera that just implements camera support, basically. And now we can just run it. And in the browser window, if you go into localhost 3000, we'll see the simplest app. Yeah. So now we can cancel this, close this, and run it saying Meteor run iOS. And let's see what happens. Oh, no. You need to add the platform.
I need to add the platform.
OK, so that's simple. It's 2 commands. You need to add the iOS platform, because we don't know what you want to build. Maybe you want to build for Windows Phone. Who knows? So you say Meteor run iOS. And what this will do is this will install all the Cordova plugins that we already predefined for you. Things like logs or like debugging support, which is kind of important. And it will spawn the server. And hopefully, it will run an emulator with our newest app. Yay.
And you have logs.
And you have a lot of logs. As you can see, your app actually loaded. Thank you. So now let's change the title, just to prove the point that we still have hot code push and rapid iteration. Let's open HTML file and say, welcome to Cordova Meteor. Save it, and it works as you expect. Cool. Awesome. So now Matt will implement the camera package support. So he will add an image tag in the body of the template. And image tag will use image helper, or picture helper, to get the actual data. And it will come just from the session variable. After we've done that, we'll use our camera package that we showed before. And anytime you'll just click on this button, it will not print anything to the console. It will take a picture. And if we get a picture, if there are no errors, then we'll just set our session variable to that. So very simple, a couple of lines of code with a predefined package. And you'll see that how easy it is. OK, if we go to our browser, we should already see the updated version. Like if I click on this button, it should prompt me. We
should add the package first.
Oh, we didn't add the package. I forgot. Thank you. So he will just say Meteor add camera, because it's a local package. And now we should see that. OK, hello. Take a picture of yourself again. You're popular
A lot
today.
of pictures of me, yeah. It's
And
on Facebook.
that's online. But that's web app, and we already seen web app. Now we'll connect to the mobile app. And we already installed this application on our device, so we'll save you some time. And if we open it, we have the same interface. We have welcome to Cordova Meteor. We click on the button, and we can take pictures. And it also takes your location. Yeah, that's it. Now we have mobile app.
All right, let's connect back. And the final announcement is that you can try out this stuff. It's in alpha level right now, but you're welcome to play around with it by doing Meteor update -- relief Cordova preview. And we have some getting started docs on the hackpad. So yeah, we're really excited to see what you guys will build, and let us know how it works for you guys. Thanks.
Thank you. And we can take questions.
So the question was, is there a way to run device-specific code? So if I want certain code on my website but not on my phone, or vice versa, on my phone and on my website. So there are two ways of doing this. In your application, you have a meteor.isCordova helper. And then at the package level, you can say, I want this file for all my clients, or I want this file for my browser clients, or I want this file for my Cordova clients. So we can maybe open the camera package real quick and see in your package.js, you have this API.add files, and we have a photo browser and a photo Cordova. So that's a feature that was really important to us, and we spent time doing that.
The question was, is there a special folder for, like, as we have client folder, that everything you put into client folder will be shipped only to the client? Do we have anything similar to Cordova? And the answer is no, we don't have anything like this right now. It's not actually that hard to implement. We just didn't feel like creating a new folder called Cordova is a good idea. And hopefully, like, in the future releases, we'll build a beta support where we will actually let you specify what is the folder you want to be shipped to the client, what is the folder you want to be shipped to Cordova. So the answer is no, not yet.
OK, and then the second question is the demo app that you guys showed at the beginning, is that on GitHub?
The demo app's not on GitHub. You can access it on the web right now at solowmo.meteor.com for social local mobile. I'll put it up on GitHub soon so you guys can play around with it. We're not quite ready to like release the camera package and stuff for like maybe another week or so. But I'll try to put that up as soon as possible.
I have a question from Twitter. Is support planned for offline data?
Is support planned for offline data? We're certainly thinking about more mobile-specific features. Offline data is one of them. Another one would be build a faster like data transport, I don't know, optimized DDP for mobile. So far, we don't have any specific plans about that. We are rolling out the packaging and build tool level support for this stuff, and we'll see how it goes.
Right. So it's cool that you guys have the camera support. And I see that you have the Cordova.depends and then there's camera there. Am I able to add other Cordova packages there to be used now?
Yeah, absolutely. So you have, as you can see, Cordova.depends. I'll zoom in a little bit. And that works the same way if people are familiar with npm.depends, and that will include this camera package. You also can add Cordova plugins at the app level by saying Meteor add Cordova : and then the plugin name. So you'll be able to it's treated much the same way as npm. So that's the kind of questions where, sorry, the question is, so we have this distinction between the client, like a web browser versus Cordova. Can we have the same distinction between a web browser and a web mobile browser, as in like Safari on your iOS phone? And the answer is not yet. We built the system in a generic enough way that in the future we could have that, and we could also have say like client.browser.ie8, and you could include your Internet Explorer 8 code specifically there. And this is all where things are headed.
And to add to that a little bit, I don't know if you've read a lot about like browser strings and stuff, but all the browsers are in the business of faking each other's browser strings as much as possible. So actually detecting which browser the request is coming from is like non-trivial because they're specifically trying to not let you do that. So it might be easier to just like use the size of the window or something like that instead of specifically targeting a browser.
Yeah, and I will also add to that. This is not like sniffing the user agent and like figure out in the runtime what to show. This is like actually what gets shipped to the client. So if you don't add this file to your Cordova build, it will never get shipped. Your bundle size will be smaller, essentially. So there's a big difference there. But for browser-specific features, people usually have a runtime check against user agent or something like this. The question is, can we record video with our camera package?
So I built that camera package as a demonstration of like how it's possible to hook into native functionality through Cordova. There's a wide variety of Cordova plugins available on the internet that hook into many different native device functions. So Cordova plugins usually bundle native code that exposes things to JavaScript. So anything you can find a plugin for Cordova, you can do that using a Meteor package, which includes video.
And to build on top of that, advanced users, the way Cordova is structured is advanced users can potentially build any native functionality they want into their app. So anything you can do with a phone, you can do with Cordova. Cordova is an interface between the JavaScript and the native code. And you could potentially do anything you want, including video or, I don't know, what else you'd do with a app. I'm just a JavaScript developer. All right, all the way in the back. Yeah. So the question is, will there be the deployment process? Will there be a Meteor push to App Store and just like, will we handle all the like Apple stuff for you? And we like looked into it a little bit, and people have made some scripts for like filling out metadata on the like Apple Store website, but that's, you know, if you're ready to publish your app, those kind of steps you're probably willing to go through. Eventually, we could maybe automate them, but that's not really on our roadmap at the time being. Yeah. Yeah.
Phil.
Yeah.
I can answer that. So the question is, Apple has special policies that doesn't allow you to download new code in runtime and like run arbitrary code, whatever you want. That is true. There are limitations. A big difference here is usually apps, those get banned, are just like a web view pointing at the website. There's a big difference. Even if you don't have internet, it will still have the code to run. It will still like run the original code. If you don't push any new versions, it will still run the original code. So when you're submitting to App Store, I think you don't even download any code in the runtime. This is the feature for quick fixes, quick like small functionality that you just don't want to wait for it while Apple reviewers are looking into it. For example, if you want to add a very big feature like geolocation, you just cannot do that because it requires a native component compiled into your bundle. Like such big functionality cannot be added in the runtime anyway. So I think it will be fine if you use it wisely.
Yeah, I want to point out a lot of apps, like current apps, do have hot code push with JavaScript, and you know, in the past, Apple's banned them. I think it's still a little unclear, but they seem more willing to accept apps that have that, as long as you don't dramatically change the functionality of the application. Yeah. So the question is, how much native code have we written for this, and what's the Android version like? So we really wanted to show the Android version, but we couldn't find the best presentation mechanism for it, actually. Like, if we couldn't plug it in. So, but the Android version works much the same way, and Cordova has that like platform-specific code, and we didn't actually write any native code. So the hot code push is all written in JavaScript, and we are really relying a lot on Cordova to do that native component for us, and it's worked out well.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.